Okay guys, so this video we're going to, it's about Microsoft Excel and it's how to format your spreadsheet. Okay, so let's get started. So I have a spreadsheet here. It's a purchase list.excel SX Excel workbook or spreadsheet, however you want to call it. So now I have all the data here. I have the raw data. If we look over here, I have everything formatted. I have it bold letters up here. I have the letters are centered. They are a certain font. And then there's a border down here. And then there's a red border here. These are in bold. So I'm going to show you how to, oh actually, let's go to this one. This is actually more formatted because this has the cell width is the right size and everything, and so it's accommodating all of that. So and actually let me clean that up a little bit, make it look nicer. So this is more or less what we want our finished product to look like. Can drag these up. So that's what I want our finished product to look like. I want it to be clean. However, let's go back to our purchase list raw. So I said raw, basically raw data, no formatting. So we'll go here. First thing we want to do is we want to select all of our top row here, and then we are going to format it. So we'll say we want these bold, so we'll say click the B, and then over here in the alignment group on the home tab, we will choose the center your content, and then notice that centers all of our letters. And then we go back to our font group on our home tab, and then we'll select a color. So you guys can select whatever color you like. I'm going to go ahead and choose this light green, but you guys can choose whichever one you want. Now, or in the assignment, I might specify. So if you hover over it, it tells you which one it is. So it says green, accent 6, lighter 40. The one above it is green, accent 6, lighter 60, and then green, accent lighter 80. This one would be gold, accent 4, lighter 40, and you can hover around and look for the other one. So I may put that in the assignment where you have to choose a specific color and look for what the actual name is. So for now, let's go ahead and choose, let's choose this color blue. Let's choose this blue. I like this blue. All right, so now we can do that. And then why don't we go ahead and put a border here. So let's select these again if I deselected them. And then over here in the home tab on the font group, if I hover over this function or command button, it tells me bottom border. If I hover here, it says bottom border. It says apply borders to the currently selected cells. So I'm going to click the down arrow, which is right next to this little box here. And I have some preset ones that I can select. But let's say I don't want the preset ones. Let's say I select thick bottom border. And then let me just select something else over here, and I see the border, but I say, you know what, I don't like that border. I want a thicker line. So what I would do is I would select the border in the font group on the home tab. I would go all the way down to the bottom, and I'd say more borders. And I can say, well, I've selected the border. This represents the top, the bottom, the left side, the right side. And I can say, you know what, I'm going to come over here and on the line style or the border tab, I'll select one of these. I'll select this nice thick one here, and then I can go ahead and say, well, I want that on the bottom of the border, and there it is. And I can choose the color if I want, so I'll go ahead and leave it automatic. It's going to be black, but I could change that color if I wanted to. And that's pretty much it right there. So now I can say OK. Oh, that's weird. It didn't give me the option to change the thickness. Strange. I don't know why it's not giving me the option for that. Normally it would give me an option for a thicker or to change the thickness. I don't know why it's not showing, but perhaps on yours it will. So that's where you would do that. Oops, I put one down here. So undo. Okay, so now I can go here, select this last one here, and then I can do the same thing. Go to the borders and then choose a thick bottom border. Check out there. Let's see if it allows me to change it on this one. And I can say, oh, I can change the line style. So let's say I wanted the style. Oh, doesn't let me do it there. Line style. Let's look at something. See if that. Oh, didn't do it. Oh, it's allowing me to check another one. So never mind. Ignore that one. Oops, oops. So now let me go back. Sorry guys, my computer's going crazy. Okay, so I'm going to hit the escape button, get rid of that little pin. And again, I will select these cells. And we can go down to more borders. Select this. I seriously am forgetting how that's happening, but either way, this is where you would select the borders. And let's say I wanted to change this to red. I could say red here. Whoa, sorry, undo. Or I don't have to undo it. Just go here. They're still selected. I forgot I had to change the color here. I changed the color, but then now I have to select the line that I want. So then now I can click out here, and now I have a red line on the bottom. And then if I want to change this font here, I can say total. I want this to be bold. And then remember, I'm going to do my calculations here. So we'll put the equals sum. And then I can just drag that. Sorry guys, I am not on it right now. And then this one, and then this one here. Okay, and then I can drag this down here, and then now it's giving me my values. And now I can say this one equals, messing up here guys, sorry. Then sum, and I can drag this one here, close parentheses, hit enter. Okay, but now I want to format this cell here. So I'll go back to the borders. And I can say, let me go ahead and format it red. And I want to format it with this one, and I want it on all the borders. Okay, there's a preset for this one, but I just want to make sure you guys understand how to get in here. And then now, if I click out here, you'll see this one is in a red box. But I want it to stand out even more, so I'm going to change this to bold. And then I can change the font size and say, okay, I want that at a 12. Now notice in our other one, in our final, we have the number symbol. So I'm going to show you how to get the number symbol. So what I have to do is select, I select all these cells here. And then I will come up here to on the Home tab, and I'll come over here to the cells group, and then I use the format command, and I can just click on format, or I can click this down arrow, and then down arrow, go down to format cells, and then format cells. I will go to the number tab, and then in the category I'm going to choose currency. And then once I choose currency, it says default symbol. It says a sample. This is what it's going to look like. So I have sample or decimal places 2. I can increase that or decrease that, and then it shows you what it's going to look like. So you can preview it there. Typically in money, you just have 2. And then the symbol. Right now I have the dollar symbol. However, depending on what currency, you can change it to all different symbols or abbreviations, or however you call that. So acronym, I don't even know. From there, then you can select, well, how do I want negative numbers to look? And if you notice over here, we have a negative number, negative 30 and negative 30. So I don't want to see that negative. I want that negative to highlight. I want it to actually stand out. So what I could do is say, well, show me negative numbers in red. So now what I want you to watch what happens on this column. I will say, click that, and now it says the dollar symbol, $700. And then look what happened to the negative. The negative, instead of negative, it's representing as a red 30. So that's standing out, saying, hey, something's up here. Essentially, on this sheet, it would mean something's free, but typically if you were doing some type of debt spreadsheet or something, you would see, or profit and loss or something, you would see a negative of a bad thing. So just so you're aware of that. Now let's go ahead and format this one, and we'll do the same thing. We'll select the cells or highlight the cells, go to format, format cells, choose currency. We'll leave everything default here, except for we will change negative numbers to red, and then we can say OK. So now we say $30, and that's some basic formatting there. Here, oh yeah, I forgot we can, let me clear these here. Clear contents. Now notice when I did that, our cells, the contents of cell of column E have spilled over into column F, and they're also hiding behind column G. Okay, so we don't want that. What we want to do is we can take this. We got a couple of things we can do here. We can just go here. Let's say I select one of these. I can click in this in between A and 1 in this little square. I can click it. It selects the whole spreadsheet. And then I can double click, and then it automatically extends it either extends the cell width or it expands it or collapses it to the proper size. So that's one way to do it. That's a really fast way to do it. I like that way to do it. However, maybe that's, let me show you another way. So I'll go ahead and click undo. And you can do it manually. So you can just say, okay, well, hover your mouse over the line in between column E and column F. You get that little double black or bi-directional black arrow. Hold my left mouse button, and then I can just drag it over whoever I want. Okay. If I wanted to leave this cell this particular size, and I didn't want to change that size, but I want all the content to show in one cell, there's another option. You will select the cells that you want. From there, you'll go to Format, and then you go to Format Cells. You click on the Alignment tab, and then you choose on Text Control, you say Wrap Text. Now watch what happens when I do this. Notice the height of the cells are very nice and neat. But watch what happens when I do this. Move this over. I said wrap text, and I'll say OK. And now it left the width of the cell the same, but it changed the height of the cell to accommodate all the text, and it wrapped it around. So that is very useful if you are constrained to a certain size. Maybe you want to print a portrait, and you have to have everything within the borders there. So that's a very helpful thing. Just keep in mind it can really extend it horizontal down and make your spreadsheet longer. But usually that's not an issue. So those are a few different ways to format the actual cell width and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and undo. And then I'm going to go back and choose this one because I like this one here. So now my cells are formatted nice and clean. However, if we notice here, anticipated purchase date, ooh, what is this? This doesn't look right. I copied this over and I don't want them to look like that. So what I can do is select these cells because that doesn't even make sense to me. And I go back to format and I say format cells. I'll go to the number tab and then I choose in the category, I'll choose date. And then here I can say, it shows me a sample. This is what the date will look like. And I can choose any which way I want to display that date. Here's all the options that you have here. I'll choose the standard first one. Location, English, I just say okay. And voila, now it's showing the dates in a format that we can read. Okay, so that's how you format dates. Just to sum things up, we showed you how to add color, highlight your text, how to center your text, how to bold the text font, how to bold these fonts, how to add borders, custom borders. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the size or the width of the lines to show it thicker. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there, but anyways, it's the same thing. Once you see it in there, you'll be able to do it. I don't know why it's not working for me. We also showed how to format the cell width and height, a couple different ways, and then also the how to format the date. One more thing before I forget, there is another way to format the cells. So let's say I wanted to format this column here. I could say cell styles. No, sorry. Sorry, I went to the wrong one. Let's say I say format cell. I go to format on the cells group, and then I'll say row height or column width. So let's say I want to do the column width. And right now it's telling me the column width is 7.09. So I can go ahead and say, well, you know what, I want to trip, or let's say I'll double it. So I'll just say 14, hit enter or select OK. Well, is that going to fit? Probably not. Maybe I'll change it. I'll say column width. Let's go ahead and put 21. So that looks a little bit cleaner. I can fit the text I want in there. And that's how you format the cell there, the cell width. You could do the same thing for the height. Here, row height. You can even say auto fit row height, etc. And you can even change the visibility. You can hide rows or unhide rows, hide columns, unhide columns, etc. So that's some formatting, some basic formatting. Of course, there's a lot more you can do, but I encourage you guys to explore and play around with it. But for now, that will do.